the Biscuits and Blurays podcast, where we watch Blu-rays and the biscuit get frozen in the cold...
Freezer.
the cold weather. I'm your host podcast. This is your co-host podcast. That's a running joke.
It's not funny.
It's funny to me.
It's still not funny.
It's funny to me.
And you alone.
Hello, podcast.
No. My name's Jade.
My name's Jade. We have just watched Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Woo! Yay!
Yeah! We watched a movie.
Yay, well done for us.
This is the last of our Ghostbusters episodes.
I know, devastating.
As a experience, how has the talking about the Ghostbusters films been for you?
It's been so much fun.
Yeah?
I've really enjoyed it because they're silly, they're campy, they're fun films, aren't they? There's a lot to like it with them.
Some of them.
Yeah, I can probably find something to like in all of them, or at least to appreciate.
Uh-huh.
Do I still hate the 2016 one?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know what? Bring back some original cast and I'm all here for it.
Okay.
No, don't you dare.
Well, we're gonna talk about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and it's difficult, but we want you to have the best podcast experience. I think
fuck you.
I think we'll say that we will be talking about spoilers anyway, so people don't like. It's better safe than sorry, you know.
Yeah.
With that said, what did you think to Frozen Empire?
I loved it.
Okay.
I had so much fun with this. Did it have some problems? Yes, it did. Did I enjoy it more than Afterlife? Yes, I did. I know you didn't, but I did. In fact, your ranking made me physically sick in the car on the way home.
We had to stop because you were physically sick.
I know, I was retching all over the place.
I disagree. I don't think this is better than Afterlife.
And he's wrong.
And I don't think it's particularly a good movie either.
And he's wrong.
I think my expectations were super, super high.
Yeah.
On the way there, we listened to Ray Parker Jr.'s beautiful rendition of Ghostbusters like 10 times.
Because of someone.
But yeah, I was in the mood.
You was in the zone.
I was in the Ghostbusters zone. And then we went to a fan event, so we got to see the car. We've had our photos with the car. That's plastered everywhere now, probably.
We got our pictures with the Ghostbusters, the East Midlands Ghostbusters.
The East Midlands Ghostbusters. We had genuinely a good evening.
Yeah, and it's a nice like, experience, isn't it, to add that in with the theatre.
It was nice being around fans of it as well.
Oh yeah, we got to see people all dressed up. It was cute. There were families where the kids were all dressed up and they got the little proton packs on their back.
Yeah. In that respect, this film, and Ghostbusters as a franchise, I think, I have warm feelings towards it. Mm-hmm. Which is ironic because this one's about freezing people. Whatever, I don't care. But this film, it struggles for me. And I think it's because we've done a trailer talk on it before. Mm-hmm. And you were highly anticipated film of the year, this one.
This has been my anticipated most excitement of the year ever.
Great.
All my words just came scrambling out.
We saw that trailer a lot, and the thing is, when you see a trailer a lot, when you're watching the film, you expect the scenes from the trailer.
You do.
And it's a double-edged sword, this one, because some of the best bits are in the trailer, and some of the bits in the trailer just aren't in the film.
Yeah, some of the bits that looked good or interesting in the trailer are just completely missing.
Yeah. I haven't listened back to our trailer talk episode, but I don't think we were right.
No, but I think we got some elements of things. I don't remember. I need to listen. I need to listen to it.
If anyone has listened to that recently, just let us know. How spot on are we? I don't think we are.
Probably not, no.
No, because I think... Well, the last episode, you said you think Acaster's going to be the son of Sigourney Weaver and the cellist guy.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. That's not a thing.
It could be a thing. Who knows?
Weaver's not there. No Weaver.
Doesn't mean that it isn't a thing though.
It's not.
How do you know? He's a part of the Ghostbusters now.
But his name is not that. His name is not James Acaster. Barrett or whatever her name was.
Yeah. As far as you know.
What? This is directed by the writer of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Mm-hmm. So he's in the director's chair. Previous one, Jason Reitman, is co-writing, which I think is good.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has a focus.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
and I can only talk about spoilers. Really, I think this might have to be a spoiler one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry guys. Yeah, spoiler review. Let's go.
Okay, so the opening scene in this film I thought was really good, and it really sets it up.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think it stuck to the mold of the first one.
Yeah.
Where the first scene in the first Ghostbusters is quite creepy, and this one was effective. I completely agree with you there. I thought it goes back. It gives you a bit of backstory about this old society.
It's like an explorers society. They clearly get hold of some kind of ancient artifacts that they probably found on some sort of expedition, or I don't know.
I liked the feel of it. I think because it's set in 1908 or something. I liked that it was still around the firehouse. But it was just done, and that was the prologue, and then you get the Ghostbusters logo.
Yeah, it was a shame because it was literally that. We know who it is because we've seen the trailers. The villain had no chill, pun intended, in that particular opening scene. He did not give a fuck. He killed everyone. Did not care.
Yeah,
and they all exploded as well. Like, it was pretty vicious. When later on there's a similar scene, we don't get any of that.
It doesn't commit this film to anything.
No, so it's already started out with something that was quite extreme. It should have really, if it was going to go with that tone to like introduce us to that, should have just run with it.
You like the fact that the Ghostbusters are back in New York.
I love that.
There's a problem here though.
Why?
For me personally, I love that firehouse. Whatever, I like seeing the car go in and out of it. I like the pole. I like that there's 3 levels to the house, an attic and stuff. That's all good. My problem with this film is it doesn't really stray from the firehouse.
Yes, I agree.
The firehouse is a character, really. That's a cliche, isn't it?
There's 3 locations really here. You've got the firehouse, you've got the library,
yeah,
and the aquarium place.
Oh yeah.
That was it.
Doesn't really do much in the streets of New York.
Not really. We get a couple of beach scenes, and that's about it.
But that was in the trailer.
Yeah, so we don't really get a lot. I mean, we get a couple of little bits and pieces. We see someone inside of their apartment.
Yeah.
That's about it.
In terms of Ghostbusting action, I don't think it's as good as Afterlife.
Why?
Here's the thing. We have a central character. We've got that now. It's Phoebe. It's Phoebe Spengler.
Yeah.
Good. I love her. She's great. McKenna Grace is really good in this one. The problem with it is the script, I think, that we are sort of stuck with her. Essentially, she's the first scene when they are busting ghosts, they cause a bit of damage, and a returning character from the first one comes back and says, "What are you doing? She's a child." Which
is, to be fair, correct.
Yeah, no, he's spot on.
Yeah.
He's bang on the money.
I mean, this time we don't have 4 males who are all above the legal age of consent. All adults.
Yeah. All 40-somethings. Yeah,
all 40-somethings are running around New York. Basically like public servants. And then you've got
a child,
somebody who's under the age of 16. Yeah, that's going to cause problems.
And then she's sort of grounded, really, to the firehouse. And in terms of, like, narratively, if we're seeing things from her point of view, fine, that's good storytelling. That we don't see any of that. But it's Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And we don't see them bust any ghosts.
We do see them bust some ghosts, though.
We see them bust 2 ghosts. One at the start, one at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we get some ghost action in the middle, because we get the Stay Puffed beautiful babies. We get Slimer.
But he's never busted, he's just there.
He's just there, but he's just there in the cartoon as well. He just kind of lives there.
I do appreciate that. Some actors have said that a big inspiration for this was the cartoon. I think that's a vibe. I think it gives you so much more to play with. And I did appreciate that it was trying to do something new.
Yeah.
Its heart's in the right place.
Yeah, it's really hard one, because when you've got a property like Ghostbusters where there's a huge fandom, people love the original movies. Obviously, you saw what happened to the 2016 one. People loved Afterlife. It's a really hard balance to get right, because you don't want to alienate the fans, but you want to also do something new. So I think they probably had a really hard line to walk with nostalgia and exactly what they do in bringing something new to the story, making it feel like the same thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because if we really think about Afterlife, and I mentioned this in that podcast as well, it's just it feels a bit like a rehash of the first film, in that we've got the same villain.
Yeah.
The same ending sequences, really.
Essentially, yeah. I get where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. The problem with fandom in general, I don't think it's particular to Ghostbusters or Star Wars or Harry Potter or anything like that. I think just in general, fandoms don't always know what they want.
Yes.
So if you are going to tell a story and you're going to take risks, you have to believe in those risks and that story. Mm-hmm. This doesn't. And I like nostalgia, but if you're doing it just to get a laugh out of people, or just to have people familiar around, that's not a vibe.
I think that's maybe a problem I think the film's got, is it doesn't really know what tone it wants to go for. Is it going more scary, or is it going more more comedy, funny? Because it tried to mix some of the elements together, and I don't think it always worked.
It didn't gel as well as Afterlife. Afterlife was a bit more charming, whereas I think this one, the tone was darker, sure, but there were some serious issues coming up in terms of family and something with Phoebe that we're not sure what it was trying to do, but we think we know what it was trying to do. But again, it just doesn't commit. And I'll say it now, and you're not going to like it. You don't need those OG Ghostbusters.
We've had this conversation.
You don't need them, and
I think we do, but in a different respect to how you maybe think I'm thinking.
Okay, what do you think? What are you thinking?
So we start off with this new story. We've got Dan Aykroyd's character. I don't know the real names. I know the actors' names.
okay, fine.
So Mr. Aykroyd he's still got his shop in New York. Mm-hmm. His little occultist bookshop, and he's kind of acting as a bit of a consultant for them. Mm-hmm. That's how his character should have stayed.
Yes.
That's where your exposition can come from. Because it makes sense. He can be a bit like the Hermione Granger character. Because then you're not telling exposition that's just for the sake of it. It's something it's a trait that character would have anyway. Mm-hmm. And then if we've got Ernie coming around, because obviously he owns the firehouse. Yeah. Every now and again, to make sure things are alright.
Well, he's the financier.
He's the financier. So it makes sense him being around, floating about. Did we need Bill Murray? No. Did he add anything to this? No.
A quick rant about Bill Murray. What a lazy human being.
I felt like he came in, said his lines for about 10 minutes, and then fucked off.
He's in probably about 2 minutes of this film, and he's probably earned more than I've ever earned in my entire life. What a lazy person that is.
There's one scene towards the end where you've got the three OGs and what's the lady's name? Janine. They're all trying to pull the lever down. And there's at one point, it just points to him, and it looks like he's been superimposed in, because he's not with the other two gents. Mm-hmm. Janine's on the opposite side anyway, so it's like, Bill, were you there by yourself? Did you not film this scene with everyone else? And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
The problem is, I think Bill Murray likes himself a bit too much.
Yes.
And because I think some of the scenes later in the film were filmed on Ghostbusters Day, like the crowd scene at the end.
Yeah.
Those were all fans of the film anyway. Mm-hmm. The problem with it is that Bill Murray, I don't think he can leave well enough alone. And I don't think he can go, it's not for me. Why not do a Ghostbusters 3 for so long and then come back in here and half-arse it?
Yeah. The fact that he didn't want to go and do a Ghostbusters 3 because he was waiting for a good script.
Yeah.
And then he goes and, number one, takes part in fucking the 2016 one. Because I'm sorry, that wasn't a good script.
No.
And his part was stupid.
I don't think that's fair. I think that's because they were trying to get the blessing of those guys. I think that was important to the fans to get their blessing.
I still think it was crap.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I just think that he's well enough. He should be gone now. Do I think that we need the others in this anymore? Donning the suits? No. Mm-hmm. I think their time to do that now has passed. And I said this should be the last film that they do it.
Yeah, but I think the last film should have been the last time to do it. Because what are they going to do?
I think we should keep Aykroyd and Ernie.
Yeah. That sounds like
Aykroyd and Ernie.
Yeah,
Janine, it doesn't really add anything. She's just kind of there. I mean, I don't know why they don't have her working as a receptionist again.
Yeah, she was great.
She's retired. I don't know.
We've said spoilers already, but I think I should say it again because there's a very good opportunity for a decent story here with one of the legacy characters that doesn't branch out, and it felt like it was brought up and then dropped.
What story was that?
So, spoilers. Ray and Winston have a bit of back and forth in the middle of the film where they're like, Winston says, like, you should pack this in. Like, you're going to get this kid in trouble. You're going to, like, mess this family up and you're not going to... you're going to do more harm than good. You should be out, take a holiday, enjoy your golden years. That's how you should be spending it, like chilling out. And then, but Aykroyd says with it was quite a, emotional beat from him. He says, "These are how I enjoy it. This is what I do." I think it could have been a way to write out his character,
and maybe write him out in a nice way, like an Alfred kind of way.
Yeah,
well done, you guys. Because we get a scene, don't we, earlier on in the film where he watches the car go past.
Yeah,
and he looks so proud and happy, and you also get a bit of sadness because he clearly remembers his friends. He probably misses it a little bit, but you could have ended his character a little bit more like that.
I'm not saying kill him off. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't think they should kill him off either.
I don't think it's the franchise to do that. It's not Star Wars. Right?
No. Plus, we're already missing an OG member as well.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't be fair.
But why not give him a happy ending where he opens up a bigger bookstore and he's doing tours with a book that he's wrote about the paranormal and it's a bestseller or something. And he is enjoying his golden years and he lives in a haunted mansion somewhere and he's still investigating the paranormal in his own certain ways. You can have him as a phone call every now and then, check up and some advice. But his story as a Ghostbuster should have ended with this film. Yeah. My problem is that this film will never let go. Well, the franchise will never let go of those original 4.
No, I think you can keep the original. I think there's 2 of them. I think, as I've already mentioned, that you should be keeping, but they should only be there as minimal roles. And I think that Aykroyd can probably use a little bit more because of how he links in with the story. And again, he's got the sharp. He can provide the information.
Yep.
But Murray, bye. Stop turning up.
Turning up for these.
Oh, you're so annoying.
We're ready to move on, and so should you.
Yeah.
That's my piece said.
No, I agree. Because I think that we've got a really nice family now with the Spenglers. Let's just keep it as them going forward.
Because they can handle their own.
Yeah, we've got some good actors in there in that mix.
I think the problem is that it's a crowded movie.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of the critics are saying as well. Well, critics and fans alike, that is something they are agreeing on. Yeah. Is that there's just a bit too much going off with the amount of cast we've got in there.
Sometimes it does separate them into groups, and that it kind of works okay. I didn't have a problem with them being separated, but when they're all together, you gotta take some of those people out because no one has the focus. If the last film was about Phoebe and her journey to be a Ghostbuster, why then sideline her a little bit for something that someone else is doing? Yeah. I just don't get it. I think structurally it doesn't work. But I think the focus here should be on the Spenglers because there's an interesting family dynamic anyway with Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon, I forget her name, like a stepfather-y relationship, and it could have lent into that more, and I would have really appreciated that.
No, I would have appreciated that more as well. Finn Wolfhard doesn't really have much to do in this either, other than get fucked up by Slimer.
I think it would have been a good running joke if he kept trying to catch Slimer in certain ways, and Slimer just kept
evading him,
outsmarting him. Yeah.
No, I think that really with some of these characters that we do get, even including some new, could have just been cut, and it would have taken a lot of filler out, I think. And to be honest, it probably could have made the story a little bit more streamlined to allow them to have a bigger ending, kind of big bad moment.
Yeah. The problem with all the new characters as well, because there are new characters here, no one gets a time to shine. No. I think some fare better than others.
Yeah, when we say some, we mean Acaster.
James Acaster delivered for me.
Yeah, he's kind of a snooty, bit of a quartermaster, isn't he? Really. He kind of just turns up and he's got proton packs in his van.
And he's like, yeah, fair play, man, fair play.
Yeah, he's good. I thought he was going to be the one to cause all the shit. And to be honest, it probably would have made sense if he was the one who did cause all the problems.
Yeah, and we thought that was the way it was going to go in the trailer talk, if I remember.
Instead, we go through a really weird story with Phoebe, which, to be honest, I think they could have had all that cut.
But then you've also got Kumail Nanjiani doing whatever he's doing. Why is he here?
We don't need a fire master.
It makes sense in terms that it shouldn't happen. I don't think. Ice, fire, whatever, I don't care. Yeah. But it does stray a bit more into powers.
Yeah, it turns into the bit Last Airbendery.
Yeah.
Sort of stuff.
And that was not interesting, nor was it funny.
No. So, for example, the big bad people seem to know a bit more about because there's been more trailers, etc. There are spoilers coming out now in general. Yeah. So, he's the god of ice, isn't he, or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
He's a warrior, and he was trapped originally by these fire masters.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, okay, but I don't know. I don't think it worked so well. I think it would have been better if they'd have used the Dan Aykroyd occultist bookshop and maybe brought magic into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or the idea of ritual, because you've got a god. Because that could then have still worked with how did you catch him in the Bronze Age if you don't have proton packs? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't need no bloody Last Airbender.
I think it could have gone. It could have delved into like the past a little bit more. So if like the god, the Death Chill or whatever it was, came up and destroyed all the proton packs, and they have to find a way through the history of what it was to do it without that, that would have been interesting. That would have been something new. And then they could have evolved that into new gadgets and stuff like that going forward. But they haven't done that. Essentially, they've just sort of gone, okay, well, he's got powers and he can fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Which, it felt cheap and it didn't feel earned.
Yeah, and even then, the Death Chill is supposed to be this really big, badass god. I don't see him Death Chill anybody. Other than the opening scene where he just yeets everyone straight away.
Yeah.
And one other person. What else do we see him do? How is he killing by fear itself? Well, I thought that was a really interesting concept from the trailer. And they did not jump on that as much as they could have done.
Well, he doesn't show up until about 20 minutes before the end. And then he doesn't do anything. He's just a presence that stands there and breathes cold air. But even the film even brings up ideas that he's more powerful than this. And you never see it. It just says, oh, you should be scared of him because he can do this. Well, show us then.
Yeah, like why instead is he messing about at the fire station with the Ghostbusters beforehand, and you've got the fire master with his bloody lighter messing about? So I've said it to you in the car on the way back, because we get a bit of a backstory about this god, and he's basically fucked over by man, and he gets trapped. And they physically like deform him, don't they? They like remove his horns and all sorts. It's quite humiliating. I can imagine as a god, that'd really piss you the fuck off.
So you've got like 100 years or so.
Well, it'd be longer if you were trapped back in the Iron Age. Yeah. You'd be fucking pissed when you got out of that. I wouldn't be stopping to watch some idiot play with a lighter. He'd be gone.
Yeah.
There's me with my arm going, gone!
Yeah. He's trapped in this orb, and this orb has this power to possess ghosts.
Yeah, it's like a prison, isn't it? Made out of brass.
Yeah, but anytime it's sort of near a ghost, they are controlled by it. And I thought, okay, great, let's get into that more. But it doesn't. And then like the Death Chill like rocks up and he's like, I need a ghost army. But but by the time he goes to get one, he's sort of already defeated. Yeah,
and they don't do anything when they're all released. They don't. He's not like controlling them in any way. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, the 2016 one had a better ghost army.
Yeah.
And it's a shame they didn't go for that more. I mean, if you look at the movie poster for this, in the background there's all these like Dementor looking spectres. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Why didn't they jump on that? It's just, I mean, it could have maybe looked a bit Harry Potter. I can kind of get that.
It feels like we're slating this film quite a bit, and I don't think that's our intention.
No, but it's a shame because I think it had so much potential to get things right.
Yeah.
Which it didn't do. But the things I did like, I really fucking loved.
So let's talk about the Death Chill and the villains and the ghosts, because this is something I really did like. I thought this was the scariest of all the Ghostbusters movies.
Oh god, yeah, easily.
And I loved it. The director said, like, I remember when kids' films were scary, and I'm trying to do that. And I think, yes, you've really smashed it out of the park on that one, because I found it quite creepy sometimes.
Yeah, I thought the Death Chill was really well designed. He looked genuinely terrifying.
He looked gaunt. He looked good. Like, that's good CGI, I thought, as well. Yeah. Because in the trailers, I thought it was a bit cartoony.
He looks better from afar when you can just see his silhouette and his eyes. I think that's really menacing.
There are some other ghosts in this as well, because they have like a menagerie of ghosts. But there's one that really caught my attention.
Which one's that?
Well, okay, well there's two.
Is it Slimer?
No, it wasn't Slimer. I want to talk about Slimer in a minute. There's a possessor, which was a little zippy zappy.
Almost like a poltergeist.
It was the electric gremlin, is what that was.
Yeah.
hate to keep bringing up Gremlins in this Ghostbusters podcast, but here we are. I thought that was quite fun. That was a fun little thing, but it was a very creepy one. This is like mist.
Yes.
And it looked like the thing from Doctor Who that doesn't have a mouth.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it looked... anytime you saw it, it was creeping towards like the camera and like Phoebe when she was looking at it. And then it sort of sleeked back into the shadows. Where was that the entire time?
It was a ghost that was already caught and was being kept for study by Ernie's team. He's got a ghost team now as well. They've got like a ghost they've got the Ghostbusters and the ghost scientists.
Yeah.
So that's where that ghost was. And he was quite interesting because at one point, whenever the orb was kind of in the building and people were touching it, all the power would drain. So the ghosts that were trapped, some of them were trying to get out and others were terrified to come out. And that was quite an interesting concept.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about our boy Slimer. You like Slimer? You glad to see him back?
I was glad to see him back. I'm always pleased to see Slimer.
I thought it was going to be Ghostbusters 2 Slimer, which ain't my Slimer.
Yeah.
This is Ghostbusters 1 Slimer, and I loved him.
He's just a hungry, hungry boy.
He just won their snack.
Yeah.
Essentially, he's been living in the firehouse this entire time. Great, and all he's been doing is eating. Great, love that.
And he sleeps under a pile of his own rubbish, and I'm here for that.
I can relate to that, yeah.
I love
absolutely.
that he sleeps almost like a pet almost, isn't he? He's just asleep in the attic, just living his best life.
But on a technical level, that's an animatronic.
And that's why you like it.
That's why I like it. Care and attention has been put in the right places, I think. Because if you're going to do Slimer, don't CGI him like the 2016 one. He needs to be an animatronic, and he needs to look real, but also feel like he can pass through you and slime you.
And can we talk about my favourite ghosts?
Oh, don't. Yeah.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. I love them so much. I can't describe to you how much I love them.
I'm bored of them now.
I think that they are really cute. So they're in this again, and they just keep trying to find stupid ways to kill themselves or each other. And they just seem really happy about it when they do it. They're like, hey! Like trying to burn each other.
But that joke's funny once, and it was funny in Afterlife. And then it's funny when you see it again because you're like, oh, okay, what other creative ways can they kill themselves? Like there's one with his hand in the grinder, and then with his other hand, he's just waving.
He's just waving at them, looking. It's like, hi.
He's like, hi. But then, anytime they rock up, that's all they're doing. Minions. That's what they are.
They have a bit of a Gremlins vibe to them. Because it's like, for example, when you do watch Gremlins, they do stupid shit like that to each other. But you know, when like one will electrocute the other and then they'll all start laughing.
Yeah.
That's the sort of vibe that they have. That's probably why I like them so much.
They're quite charming, I'll give you that, but I'm done with that. Little mascots, aren't they?
They're little mascots, and do you know what? I'm here for them. They are babies. So what did you think to Phoebe's ghost friend?
Okay. In the meantime, Phoebe, obviously she's banished. She feels alone. She's isolated because she can't really do what her purpose in life is.
Yeah.
So she goes to Central Park, I want to say, or like the fountains, or wherever someone plays chess in New York. That's where they.
Central Park, maybe.
I don't know. It felt like it was, but I don't know New York.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's playing in chess, and then like the first one, someone picks up the pieces and moves them around. This is where we get introduced to a character called Melody.
Yes.
Who is a female ghost, similar age, and her backstory is that she was killed in a fire. Luckily, she died before any of her skin burnt off, so that's how she looks.
Yes.
She was pointless.
She was there to act as a bit of a plot device, I think, to be like, oh, again, spoilers. She betrays Phoebe because she wants to see her family again. We didn't need any of that storyline. You could have, because we've got, as we've mentioned, these ghosts that we love so much. We've got the poltergeist ghosts that in an earlier scene, it gets hold of a is it like a canister that you can listen to old tracks on?
Yeah, that's the zippy one, the Possessor.
Yeah, so if the Possessor's got hold of that, he could have had that playing. We could have Evil Deaded it a little bit.
Evil Dead Rised it.
Evil Dead Rised it a little bit, where the sound started on its own, but also podcast also film like had his like boom mic near the recording. You could have had that accidentally play, or again have the Possessor possess his phone when they're all in the building and not around it, or played by accident. It would still be a human voice.
I thought these words would I thought these words were going to be recorded, taken back to the lab where the orb was, and that would set it off.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen, or by accident, again, if it's on a phone. But no, instead we get this really weird...
This Melody who... It feels like, and I don't know, because the film doesn't really explain it, but it feels like it's setting Phoebe up to
have a love interest.
To have a love interest with her.
Yeah.
There was a vaguely interesting bit where Phoebe decides to go, okay, to be close to you as a friend or whatever, girlfriend, I'm going to join you on your dimensional level. So she jumps into a machine and becomes a ghost, essentially, for 2 minutes.
Yeah, until she can, like, regain consciousness.
Yeah. But then it turns out that Melody's double-crossing her.
Yeah.
I think we said last episode that we think, like, it's implied that Phoebe is on a spectrum. Mm-hmm. And you said that the people on that spectrum can't process feelings.
And it's not necessarily that, but they can't pick up... But it's hard because you don't want to generalise people.
I'm struggling, yeah.
But I know from having a friend I've worked with, in particular, this gent had problems with social cues. Mm-hmm. He knew it, because we used to talk about it, was very open about that. And he'd say, I can't understand when I should leave a situation. I probably hang around for longer than I should do. So he doesn't pick up on people's responses.
Yeah.
So if that is a trait that Phoebe has, she might be easily manipulated by somebody. And again, also it could link in as well maybe with her age. Mm-hmm. The fact that she is still 15.
Yeah.
She's always been quite a bit more of a loner and quite quiet. Mm-hmm. The Ghostbusters has given her a purpose. All of a sudden she feels alone because her family are off doing the things she loves and she feels like she should be doing, because she's the inventor. She's made that quite clear quite a few times in earlier scenes. So there's a lot that could have added into that, but I think as a character it seemed a bit out of place.
It seemed out of character for her to do this.
She just seems a bit too clever to get double-crossed that way.
If essentially she's saved the world already before, and no one listened to her then, why are people not listening to her now? She would be the first person I go to. Mm-hmm. If they go, okay, I've got this orb and whatever, and like, right, Phoebe, what have you got? Literally just like, I know you're grounded or whatever. You can't do anything because like the government won't let you. Mm-hmm. But your input would be very much appreciated. But they don't do that, and it forces Phoebe into Melody's to fall under her spell. And then it backfires because Melody's double crossed her. There was an interesting bit again where Phoebe's ghost got possessed.
Yes.
And I thought that's creepy. I like that, and I thought it was going to go that way, and then it didn't.
Which is a shame. Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe that's the thing. This movie set up for some possible really good sequences and for a really good story, and it didn't deliver quite as much as I think you wanted. I loved what I got. Elements of this made me go, oh, you could have done more. But ultimately, I'm a sucker for a movie that's a bit of a disaster. in like a disaster movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but...
I like me some Day After Tomorrow, don't you dare.
You can just grab that. You just get it off the floor.
Grab what?
That.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
It's the stakes.
Ah.
the low. Mm-hmm. Compared to what Gozer brought to not only the first one but Afterlife as well, the stakes couldn't be higher. End of world stuff, great.
That's exactly the same
but
though
this,
with New York.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is though, because he's going to take over the world. He's just starting there because he's collecting his army basically.
But to do so, you're freezing. What you're doing, you're making the roads a bit icy. That's all he does. He doesn't kill anyone. He doesn't freeze anyone.
That's where I think it went wrong. It should have literally, it should be doing The Day After Tomorrow.
It should be doing The Day After Tomorrow. Essentially what it does is a Batman and Robin. Yeah. Which is a problem. Because Batman and Robin, people freeze, but then like suddenly everything's fine. Yeah. And they unfreeze.
But again, this is a family film.
It's a family film.
So how far do you push it?
But it's the same certificate as The Day After Tomorrow, so you can get away with it. I don't know.
It's a tough one, because you've set up a villain that is so terrifying, really. Mm-hmm. It's got all these amazing powers that it can use, but you're trying to show its families, and there was young children in our screening.
I think they got bored, because they started talking towards the end.
Yeah. I don't know, but if these are young children that have seen the others, mm-hmm. I'd be interested to know what the parents maybe thought. So a changing villain. I will always say this, and I know you don't agree with me, but I don't think Zool is all that exciting. And I've always thought that. I preferred Mr. Horny to Zool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, incorrect. I'm glad you got something out of this. That's the end of that sentence.
Can we just say there was a big Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver shaped hole in this?
There was. And it was trying to be filled by Kumail Nanjiani. Mm-hmm. And it's a void that you cannot fill with that personality. I think it also introduced Patton Oswalt for a bit, but then he's dropped immediately. You never see him again. Yeah. And his relationship with Ray was quite interesting, where he's got, okay, you should see the library and the old library and stuff like this. And we see the librarian ghost again, but what for? Because she doesn't do anything. It's
just for a callback, isn't it? So fans go, oh yeah, we remember that from the first movie.
Yeah. It just didn't do anything with anyone.
I know what you mean, but I disagree. I found a lot to like in this.
The ghost busting, essentially, when it comes down to it, I said to you before, like, the first Ghostbusters, they're just 4 guys standing there, waving sticks around. Mm-hmm. With the 2016 one, there's a bit more action. There's like different gadgets and like gloves and stuff like that. Afterlife, it felt a bit more car driven. Yeah. The car had a lot more to do.
Car driven?
You know what I mean? Like gadget driven.
Yeah.
Where there's the remote control car and the car is... It's got a gunner seat and whatever. I don't care. This one, it feels like it's downgraded. Because you do have these new gadgets, but you're giving them to people who don't know how to use them. Mm-hmm. You're giving one to an ex-receptionist. She's got that new power glove or whatever it was.
She doesn't use it once.
Well, I didn't see her use it. I saw her put it on, but she never used it. And then when it comes down to it, the villain rocks up at the firehouse, and it's just everyone in a line, last line of defense, just standing there aiming sticks around.
But then again, that was always the line of defense in the first film. Just a line of 4 people shooting their sticks and crossing the streams.
Is it gonna always...
What's different?
Is it always gonna be that though?
That's where this could have been a bit different, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they decided to use the Firemaster stuff. I don't know.
Why? We're there to see ghosts. Essentially, we're there to see these Ghostbusters fight ghosts. In the final scene, it was never the Ghostbusters anyway. It was Phoebe with her new brass thing.
With her new brass.
Which she just went, oh, I've got a new... I'm just going to dip this one in brass real quick. Okay, great. Do it for every single one of them. That'd be wonderful.
Well, she seemed to be able to melt this metal down, pour it all over the stuff she had. Mm-hmm. It managed to dry really quickly and to have her put it all back in and not need like sanding or anything like that.
Yeah, she was coating it in brass, essentially.
Yeah, but then how's it drying? Mm-hmm. It just, I don't know. It seemed to all happen very quickly, bearing in mind that all of New York was being taken over during this during this particular little montage scene.
No one was in a rush. I don't think the Death Chill was in a rush to take over, and the Ghostbusters weren't in a rush to fight him.
No. And it's a shame, because I think, again, they've got so many good ideas. They've got some great actors in this. Mm-hmm. I don't think they needed some of the talent that they had, necessarily. Mm-hmm. They could have cut bits out.
There's an interesting dynamic with Paul Rudd and Phoebe.
Yes.
Paul Rudd was great in this. I think the people I liked the most in this were the people... Well, it doesn't imply because most
it's the Spanglers, basically.
It's the Spanglers. It's Phoebe. It's the mom.
Or the Spanglers, as I just said.
Yeah, it's Paul Rudd and it's Finn Wolfhard. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm watching now. I'm not watching Bill Murray do his bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
But with Paul Rudd, his relationship now, because it's 2 years after Afterlife.
Yeah.
Weird sentence to say. And he's not a teacher anymore, he's a Ghostbuster, but he's also in a relationship with Carrie Coon. Yeah. So there's a stepfather dynamic.
Yeah, because of their step-teacher, which I thought was quite cute.
Yeah. I thought that was well executed.
And well acted as well between them.
Yeah, between Carrie Coon as well, because there's a scene where Phoebe's in trouble and Carrie Coon says, oh, you're in trouble. Paul Rudd do something, and Paul Rudd goes, whatever your mum says. And essentially his arc with Phoebe changes throughout the film, because he does yell at her sometimes, and then he talks to her saying, I'm adjusting to this as well. You got to bear with me. And then it comes full circle at the end. Mm-hmm. That was excellent. And again, it's a side point that doesn't have any focus.
No, because again we get 2 side characters back that I think they could have just left in Afterlife. and this is going to be unpopular, but I think Podcast could have been left in Afterlife. I know you like him, but I don't know what he adds.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Is it Lucky?
Lucky.
Yeah, she could have been left in Afterlife too.
She essentially is a intern at the new Ghostbusters headquarters or whatever, which is why she's there. But to be an interesting character, you have to give something to the plot. She didn't give much in Afterlife. She turned into a dog. It was implied in the trailer that she was going to do more, and it was implied that she was going to meet her demise.
It did look like she was going to meet her demise, but she didn't.
Because like when it happened, I was like, okay, it's gonna go there.
Do it, yeah.
Yeah. But then it didn't, and then in the next scene you just see her and she's okay.
You can't tell me you could be frozen that badly and just be okay.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, I'm just a bit chilled.
I get wind burnt on my hands, and I can't write for about half an hour. So no, I don't quite believe that. But yeah, but they were two characters I think that they didn't need coming back for this.
Podcast, I disagree. Lucky, I think should have stayed in her town.
Yeah, I mean, especially because I think that initially they were looking at a bit of a friendship or a
romance.
A romance with Finn Wolfhard, but they didn't follow either kind of storyline with him on in this for her either.
Yeah.
She just kind of bands around James Acaster for a little bit, and it's just, I don't know, they didn't need it.
But Podcast has this relationship with Ray now where they're mates.
But
so
again, what does he do other than that first scene he's in that's quite funny?
Let's face it, that scene was quite funny. Ray's not going to stick around forever, and he's going to need someone to take over his shop. The best person to do that at this point, it's Podcast.
Right, so that's where they're going with that. I can kind of get it maybe, but you could have just been shown in passing maybe if you absolutely had to use him, and then just left it at that. Because I think he appears as well at the end scene. I can't remember what doing.
What did he do?
I don't know, but he got a suit on. There's more and more people getting these fucking Ghostbusters jumpsuits now.
Turns out anyone can be a Ghostbuster.
Anybody can have this fucking stuff on now. Do you remember when there were 4?
I remember when.
Do you remember when there was 4 of them?
Now there's. Hang on. Let's count them. Okay.
Let's count the Ghostbusters.
Let's count the Ghostbusters. 1 Ghostbuster.
We've got the 4 OGs that are back. Well, they are the 4 originals, aren't they?
Yeah, that's Melnitz as well. She's got a uniform.
Yeah.
Then you've got Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Wolfhard, and Phoebe.
They're the Stragglers. So
that's 8. Lucky, Podcast. Acaster's got 1. And Kumail Nanjiani is probably on the team now, I'd say.
Yeah, he's got his own little brass number he got on.
That's 12 Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
There's not even that many seats in the car.
No.
Cut some out.
Yeah, we don't need. We could do with it being streamlined. I think it'd be a good thing to do. And again, that's where a lot of the criticisms come from. I can see why they were there, because obviously, again, the writers want to make fans happy, but I think we're in a position now where we don't need them all. You've got a really good, strong, solid main cast. You don't need any extra filler.
The car
is sexy.
The car is sexy. I like seeing it do a 180 on the road. A nice Yui.
A Yui.
I'm there for that. There's a bit where the possessor takes over the car, and it's in the firehouse. That could have been used in a certain way. I
thought they were going to Christine that, you know.
I thought they were going to Christine it, where this car is going... I'd imagine it would have gone... In a perfect world, like, there's no death chill or whatever, but the possessor gets hold of that car, drives through New York, everyone's like, what are the Ghostbusters doing? Let's hate them. And everyone... and the mayor, who is Walter Peck at this point, can go, well, the Ghostbusters are causing more harm than good. Everyone should stop paying them because they're on the payroll essentially. Yeah. But it doesn't, and because it doesn't leave the firehouse. Essentially, the car gets possessed and reverses for a bit, and that's it. I
suppose as well, it's also alluded to the fact that possessor ghost gets bored in what it's in really quickly because it bounces around quite quickly, doesn't it? It's almost like a ping pong ball.
Well, it takes over one of the proton packs as well. Yeah. And then this bullshit that's dealt with. I thought that was going to go a different way, but never did. I just think this was just a wasted opportunity for something much more interesting.
I can see where you're coming from, but I think if you come into this just hoping for a Ghostbusters film that's just a bit of fun, I think you'll enjoy this.
Because they, again, bust 2 ghosts.
There's ghost busted in this. It's because we've got a ghost that's a friend now. So we do get ghost action, but maybe not the action you think you're going to get.
Ghost chess. Wonderful.
Ghost chess, guys.
2 ghosts. That's 2 ghosts in the first one, 2 ghosts in Ghostbusters 2, and 2 ghosts in Afterlife. You've got to bust more ghosts than this, guys, and you've got to show that these are good, upstanding citizens and giving back to their community. Because 2 ghosts, it ain't shit.
No. But again, we get to see glimpses of other ghosts in it that make you feel like you have seen a lot of busting action.
It did miss a montage.
I love myself a montage.
You like a montage where...
Oh, I do.
Where the Ghostbusters are ghost busting, and where the ghosts are causing... They're pestering? Pestering, was that the word?
Yeah, because we could have got some good animatronics.
Yeah. In the trailers, they said, every ghost they've ever caught is going to, get out. Okay. But by that rate, it's probably 6. That's not many.
All 6 of you ghosts are going to become an army.
Yeah. Essentially, your storage tank is too full. Mm-hmm. Of 6 ghosts? Is that Titanic ghost in there? Do you remember the Titanic rocking up in Ghostbusters 2? Because that's canon now.
Yes,
confirmed.
so where did they all go, though? Are they all in there?
Apparently.
Who knows? But bearing in mind that it ends with it becoming a trap just for the main ghost. Mm-hmm. That means that all the others are still lurking around New York. So they're going to have to recatch them all over again.
Which is, that's...
Imagine if you'd have paid for that service and then it fucking came back.
Now, I remember a film that did this, where they went, okay, everything's out, everything's loose, this is a problem. Mm-hmm. And then in the next film, it didn't do that. That film was Jurassic World.
Okay.
Do you remember in Fallen Kingdom where it was
I've
just
not seen Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, okay. Spoilers for that. Everything gets out.
Yeah.
And you think, ooh.
Isn't that usually what happens in all the Jurassic
No, but
parts?
into the world, not just onto an island, into the world.
Okay.
And then in Dominion, which is absolutely trash, that gets dropped immediately. Mm-hmm. I think going forward, there is a way to keep this going, but I need more than this.
Well, I don't.
You were very fulfilled.
I was very fulfilled with my Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
It got laughs. It got laughs out of me. It got laughs out in general because
people seem to quite like this. To be fair,
I do think the critics are being a bit too harsh.
Yeah, I agree.
But I can see where some of them are coming from.
I can understand, and again, I think there's been some points, as I've already mentioned, that fans and critics are agreeing on, but they are being a little bit overly mean to this. And to be honest, let's face it, Kong and Godzilla's going to be fucking wank. So save your bad reviews for that, guys.
Yeah, actually, good point. Yeah, save that river of slime for...
Yeah, save it for the movie that probably really deserves.
Yeah. For you, is this better than Space Jam?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have as high a kind of rating of Space Jam as you do, though.
Me neither. Again, Space Jam is the midpoint.
Well, bearing in mind you said you give it 3 stars on Letterboxd, surely it's a mid-movie and it's on the same level.
Exactly. I think it is exactly the same as Space Jam. I don't think it's better, I don't think it's worse. I think it's fine. I think it could have been more. I wanted more. But there is good stuff in here. Kept me entertained. I was never bored. I was a little bit bored. I was a little bit bored in that first hour.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I think that's a Ghostbusters thing in general. I think all of them have a problem with slow pacing in the beginning.
But then when it wrapped up, I thought, okay, well, it felt like an anticlimax.
Yeah, because again, I think we'd seen bits in the trailer that made you think it was going to be happening out in New York. Mm-hmm. But we didn't get that.
We just stuck to that one corner of New York.
The one really small little room in the firehouse.
That one firehouse, yeah. It was as good as Space Jam.
Better.
It wasn't as good as Afterlife.
It was better.
No! But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Let us know, though, guys.
What do you think to this? Are you going to go see it over the opening weekend?
I hope it does well, because I would like another one.
I hope it does. Just say fuck you to the critics.
I think it will. I think it's too... Ghostbusters is like Sony Pictures' most profitable thing. They'd be fools not to do another one, even if it's trash.
I hope they get good word of mouth from fans.
Yeah.
Or the fans revisit it, because that's what's happening with Dune at the moment. I mean, Dune has been more critically acclaimed, and again, it's got a lot of fan service where people are going back to watch it again and again and again. And I hope this gets that too. I mean, we've said we'll probably watch it again.
I think the problem is with critics, they have no real input. At the end of the day, it comes down to where the money goes. Mm-hmm. And if people want to spend their money on this, and I think they should, great. Because essentially, money talks.
Yeah, I agree. And the only thing really it's going to have in its competition, I think, is going to be Godzilla v Kong.
It's a struggle because it's coming up to Easter weekend, and you've got Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda is going to wipe.
It's going to absolutely dominate because it's the only kind of kids movie in that space.
Yeah.
There's nothing else until May.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to dominate for ages, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd like to see Ghostbusters and Godzilla v Kong really duke it out. I mean, Dune's still juggernauting at the moment, but I'd like to see them two really go up against each other. And do you know, I'd like to see Ghostbusters smash them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will.
I'd like to think so, but again, I've been speaking to people at like my work, and again, even my customers. I talk movies with people like that.
Okay.
And loads of their kids are dead excited to see Godzilla v Kong.
Really?
They love the monster verse.
I don't get it.
Because it's basically a bit like Transformers now. It's just basically monsters smashed against
big
each
things,
other.
yeah.
But we'll see. That'll be a review for soon.
We're not talking about that one. I'm not looking forward to it. And I love my boy Godzilla, but I couldn't care less what happens in that movie. I mean, we'll watch it, absolutely. Hey ho, we move.
We do.
But thanks for listening, guys. That was like Ghostbusters. It's all done.
Woo. Woo. Frozen Empire.
Unfortunately for you, we're back to Star Wars.
Oh fuck.
Guess which one it is next?
Oh, it's that the Obi-Wan one, isn't it?
Nope, it's Solo.
Han Solo. Oh, fucking hell.
Are you excited?
I thought you loved me.
Oh, at least we get Rogue One after that.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to all the Ghostbusters episodes, guys.
All of them.
It makes us feel good. Busting makes us feel good.
It does indeed.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.